The world often looks at Appalachia and sees only shadows, a place shrouded in mystery and misconceptions. They paint pictures with worn-out words, using broad strokes that miss the finer details. Words like backward, ignorant, and poor, which cling to the region like an unwanted shadow. These words are a heavy cloak, obscuring the true essence of Appalachia. They hide the truth of the mountains and their people, a truth that is rich and multifaceted. For generations, this land has been a secret, a hidden gem waiting to be discovered, a place understood by few who live beyond its steep ridges where the landscape tells stories of resilience. The real Appalachia is a place of fierce beauty, where nature and culture intertwine seamlessly. It is a place of deep roots and quiet strength where every tree and stream holds a piece of history. It is a culture carved from hardship and resilience where every craft tells a story of survival, a story that deserves to be told right with all its nuances and complexities. Many outsiders come with their minds already made up, carrying preconceived notions that cloud their vision. They see what they expect to see, missing the layers of life that make this place unique. They miss the spirit that breathes in these hills, a spirit that whispers through the wind in the trees. This spirit is found in the music that drifts from a porch on a summer evening, echoing the soul of the mountains. It is in the hands that can craft beauty from simple wood or thread, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. It is in the welcome offered to a stranger, even when there is little to share, embodying true hospitality. The people here are tied to the land, their lives interwoven with the earth and sky. Their lives are woven into its fabric, creating a tapestry of shared experiences and memories. This connection is older than the roads that now cut through the mountains, a bond that time cannot sever. This is the soul of Appalachia, a land of shadows and light, waiting to be truly seen and understood. The Appalachian Mountains are an old range. They stretch like a long, wrinkled spine down the eastern side of North America. They are not sharp and sudden like the Rockies. These mountains are weathered, worn down by time and the elements. Their peaks are often softened, covered in a dense blanket of trees. The range begins far in the north in Canada's Newfoundland. It winds its way south through the United States for nearly 2,000 miles. It finally fades into the hills of central Alabama. This vastness holds many different worlds within it. The region known as Appalachia is defined by these mountains. It includes parts of 13 states, from New York in the north down through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, and West Virginia. Then it covers Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina. It touches South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. This is a huge area, diverse in its landscapes. There are high peaks and deep valleys called hollows. There are rushing rivers and quiet forests. Each part has its own feel, its own specific character shaped by the land itself. For many long years, the mountains stood as barriers. They kept the outside world at bay. Early settlers, mostly of Scots-Irish, English, and German descent, pushed into these hills. They sought land and freedom. They found both, but they also found deep isolation. Roads were few and often mere muddy tracks. News from beyond the ridges traveled slowly, if at all. Communities became small islands in a sea of green. This solitude shaped the character of Appalachian people in profound ways. It bred a fierce independence. Self-reliance was not a choice, it was a necessity. If a cabin needed building, you built it. If a tool broke, you fixed it. If sickness came, you relied on home remedies and the knowledge passed down through generations. Neighbors helped neighbors, forming tight-knit bonds. But ultimately, each family had to stand on its own feet. This created a people who were resourceful and resilient. They learned to make do with what they had. Family is the bedrock of Appalachian life. It has always been this way. In the isolated hollows, family was your world. It was your support, your history, your future. Large families were common. Many hands were needed to work the land and run a household. Children learned from their elders. They learned the ways of the mountains, the skills for survival. Loyalty to kin was, and often still is, paramount. Bloodlines run deep, connecting generations to the same patch of earth, the same struggles, the same triumphs. Life in these mountains was never easy. The land could be harsh and unforgiving. Poverty was a constant companion for many. Sickness and injury were ever-present threats, with doctors often miles away. People faced floods, droughts, and cold winters. They toiled in coal mines, risking their lives for meager pay. They saw their forests cut down by timber companies. Section 5. The language of the lost provinces, echoes of Old English in mountain speech. The way people talk in Appalachia is unique, a living testament to the region's rich cultural tapestry. It is a dialect rich with history, woven into the very fabric of the community. Some call it a brogue or a twang, but it is much more than that. It is more than just an accent. It is a window into the past. It is a form of English that holds echoes of centuries past, preserving linguistic traditions. When the first settlers came to these mountains, they brought their language with them, a language that would evolve uniquely. Many were from England, Scotland, and Ireland, bringing with them their distinct dialects and traditions. Their speech patterns were those of the 17th and 18th centuries, a time capsule of linguistic history. Because of the isolation of the region, these older forms of English were preserved, like wildflowers in a hidden valley, untouched by modern influences. You might hear words and phrases that have long vanished from standard English, a linguistic treasure trove. Words like afeard for afraid, or breeches for pants are still in use. The use of a before verbs like a comin' or a goin' is another feature that stands out. Pronunciations can also be different, adding to the unique charm of the dialect. Holler for hollow or far for fire are just a few examples. These are not mistakes or signs of poor education, but rather, they are linguistic gems. They are remnants of an older linguistic heritage, a bridge to the past, a living link to the language of Shakespeare and the King James Bible, echoing through the mountains. Linguists have studied Appalachian English for its historical significance, finding it a rich field of research. This distinct way of speaking has often been a source of misunderstanding. Outsiders sometimes mocked it, not realizing its deep historical roots. Section 6. Echoes in the Mist. The enduring power of Appalachian folklore. The mountains are alive with stories, echoing through the valleys and whispering in the winds. Tales passed down from one generation to the next like a cherished heirloom. These stories are the folklore of Appalachia, woven into the fabric of daily life. They are filled with mystery, magic, and the harsh realities of mountain life. You might hear of haints and spirits that roam the dark hollows, unseen but felt. Stories of strange creatures lurking in the deep woods waiting to be discovered. Tales of witches and healers who knew the secrets of herbs and charms, blending nature with the supernatural. These stories were more than just entertainment. They taught lessons, morals, and values. They explained the unexplainable. They helped people make sense of a world that could be both breathtakingly beautiful and perilously dangerous. Many Appalachian folktales have roots in the old countries, carried over by the early settlers. They came across the ocean with the early settlers, bringing with them a rich tapestry of stories. Stories from Scotland, Ireland, and Germany found new life in the American mountains, adapting to their new surroundings. They blended with the experiences of the new land, creating a unique cultural fusion. They mixed with the beliefs and tales of the Native Americans who were here first, enriching the folklore. This created a unique body of folklore, a blend of old and new, native and immigrant. Jack tales are a famous example embodying the spirit of the Appalachian people. These are stories about a clever, resourceful boy named Jack, who uses his wits to navigate challenges. He outwits giants, tricksters, and solves impossible riddles, embodying the triumph of the underdog. Jack often represents the common person overcoming adversity, a symbol of hope and resilience. Section 7. Rhythms of the heartwood music, crafts, and enduring traditions. Appalachian culture sings with a unique voice. Music is its heartbeat. The old songs traveled across the sea with the first settlers. Ballads from England, Scotland, and Ireland took root in the mountains. They told stories of love, loss, and adventure. Over time, these tunes blended with new influences. The banjo, an instrument with African origins, became central. Fiddles, guitars, and dulcimers joined in. This created a distinct sound, a sound that is both mournful and joyful. It is the sound of resilience. Craftsmanship is another cornerstone of Appalachian tradition. People learned to make what they needed with their hands. They used the materials the land provided. Woodcarvers shaped beautiful figures and useful tools from native trees. Weavers created intricate patterns in quilts and coverlets. These items were not just functional, they were expressions of creativity and skill. Each piece told a story of patience and artistry. Pottery, basket weaving, and blacksmithing were also important crafts. These skills were passed down through families, preserving a rich heritage of making. Section 8. The changing landscape, tradition and modernity in today's Appalachia. Appalachia today is a place of contrasts. The old ways still hold strong in many communities. Yet the modern world has arrived, bringing change with it. Roads now connect even remote hollows. The internet brings the globe to mountain homes. Young people grow up with influences from far beyond the ridges. This creates a dynamic tension, a blending of tradition and modernity. It is a landscape where the past and the present coexist, sometimes easily, sometimes with friction. This is the new reality of the mountains. The economic landscape has also shifted. Coal mining, once a dominant industry, has declined. This has brought hardship to many areas, but it has also opened doors for new opportunities. Tourism is growing as people come to experience the beauty and culture of the region. Small businesses are emerging, often focused on local crafts, food, or outdoor recreation. Technology allows some to work remotely, staying in their home communities. Section 9. The Rising Generation's Song Reclaiming Narratives Honoring Heritage. A new generation is rising in Appalachia. They are young people with deep roots in the mountain soil. They are also connected to the wider world in ways their ancestors never imagined. This generation is playing a vital role in shaping the future of the region. They are not content to let outsiders define them or their home. They are reclaiming the narrative. They are telling their own stories, with their own voices. They speak with pride about their heritage, while also acknowledging the complexities and challenges. These young Appalachians are often at the forefront of change. They are artists, writers, activists, and entrepreneurs. They are using social media and other platforms to share their perspectives, to challenge stereotypes that have long plagued the region. They are highlighting the diversity within Appalachia. They are celebrating its cultural richness. They are also tackling tough issues like economic justice, environmental protection, and access to education and healthcare. They bring fresh energy and new ideas to long-standing problems.